Amazing evening, Nigeria. Another beautiful day to talk about Nigerian matter now. From the ISWAP versus Boko Haram fights to all the drama when it happened, it's Wike versus soldiers. I come to give on all the tea for the things that happen for inside Nigeria, especially as we still get to do with the threat by Donald Trump and reactions. We don't follow the threat. Some people go tell us, hey, Ojo Zakaro don't run, no, he don't escape Tinubu, that is, he not even want look back at all. He say he be 100% Trump person. He be pro-US, anything when they do. People said, hey, excuse me, Oga, are you scared of your property being confiscated in the US? Why are you all of a sudden drumming support for all of this? Well, I'm here to give you all the juice to the story. And the Reverend Dachomo don't talk, say, nothing gonna make me no drag APC. In fact, no drag Nigerian government go International Criminal Court for Hague. That and more. Now we carry on. Plus, before now, we don't get an indigene of Benue State who don't join us several times, talk about things and the killings we get to do with the people of Benue State in the Middle Belt. And that was Barrister Franco Tor for the United States. But now today, I also had to bring someone else from Plateau State. Good thing he's a legal practitioner, so he will come give us narrowed down conversation as to what they happen for Plateau State, where Indy from. And this is one guest you don't want to miss. So let's go straight to the hot topics this evening. On the hot topic this evening, Reverend Dachomo vows to drag Nigerian government to ICC, International Criminal Court Hague, over alleged genocide or over genocide of Christians. He says gunmen burnt worshippers alive during service in Plateau State. And the security agencies did nothing. Well, we'll get back to that conversation. That's the crossover of our conversation today. Wike versus military. I can't be intimidated. FCT Minister orders halt to alleged illegal development. Now, let me give you the gist of this conversation. Because as an exclusive, there's a story about how FCT Minister Wike revoked 30 hectares of land owned by top military officers, reallocated same lands to his associates, including INEC chairman and Mopito. We just enter na. Now People's Gazette, I write more. Not be People's Gazette. That's how reporters write them. I will give one of these gist. Now, could it be because of these gist they make the soldier talk? Say, no, I am obeying the last command. I am not stupid, sir. If you hear the way the young military officer answer Wike, you just be wondering what is going on here. But I'm here to give you a bit of that juice of the conversation. Now, there was recent attempt in Nigerian Senate to impeach Akpabio. Did you know that? Well, I'll let you in on that because Ojo Zakalo spills the beans. Reps raise alarm over 1,894 unmanned Nigerian borders. That we also talk about. America informed me of anything they planned to do in Africa when I was president. Who said this and to whom? Olusegun Obasanjo, your former president. Alleged money laundering. Court adjourns ex-Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello's trial until January 29th. So go and chop your life. Marry 10th wife if you like, till January 29th. US aborted mission after moles in Nigerian military leaked planned rescue of Chibok girls to Boko Haram. Bolaji Akinyemi said this. Now, he's not the first person who said this recently. I think Reverend Laddie Thompson also said the same thing on Channels Television. He is saying this on Arise Television. It is very sad. Politicians, security agencies, and INEC colluding to cook election results. Worst form of coup. Say that's it. The fact say both politicians and security agencies and the INEC they cook election results. Say that one are the worst coup ever. We don't get for this life. Syria Kedixin now in the talk this one. Christian genocide. Use bullets to kill terrorists or use your pen to resign. Adebayo, don't tell Oga President Tinubu. Soldiers connived with bandits to attack us and killed my husband. Plateau widow alleges. And then we'll move on. Gunmen abduct 6 defense ministry directors en route to Abuja. 6 defense ministry directors. You shouldn't be encouraged to do stunts with soldiers. Sheikh Husani tells Wike, now stunting they do. Meanwhile, let's get into politics proper as PDP suspends gubernatorial candidate, that is Guba candidate Ezenwafo, over alleged compromise during an Anambra election. That is the candidate of a party compromised. So which party? It shocked you? One that shall never end in this Nigerian politics. Trump's threats wreaking havoc in Nigerian stock market, Naira. And Naira economists now they cry out over what's they happen. Again, court stops PDP from holding 2025 convention, INEC from recognizing outcome. that same day. Protesters storm National Assembly, demand Senate confirmation of NEC chairman and nominee. Well, we'll also look at that. And let's see. And very pleasant news, some people would say. Ex-CDS Christopher Musa secures international appointment that day. And Nigeria is lucky, very lucky to have Tinubu as president. Well, all this other matters now bring to honor the month. But before we get into our guest, make I just quickly gloss through some of these headlines so ABC will just bring on a sharply, because it would be a big injustice if I know just talk some of them. So before I get to Reverend Dachomo, which is perhaps one of the major conversations we will get, let's look at what played out today with your FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the people that we be say in get wahala with today for inside Abuja. So before I go to that story, there's been an exclusive exposing what or the deal Wike had with land deal we get for Abuja. Now, it's not be the first time we would hear of allegation of land grabbing, of, siphoning land and giving to cronies, right? Well, now this exclusive has it that fresh details emerged on the land disputes that triggered Tuesday's confrontation between the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike and soldiers who stopped him and his officials from entering a property in Gudu district of Abuja. Now, speaking exclusively to Sahara reporters, a legal practitioner involved in the case explains that the disputed 30 hectares of land was initially allocated to serving and retired. It was allocated though initially to serving and retired military personnel, but was later revoked by Nyesom Wike. Now, the lawyer revealed that the same was reallocated to Wike's political associates, including a top ally alleged to be current Independent National Electoral Commission chairman. That is the INEC chairman, which does the enter na. According to my Isoko people, they don't already allocate land, give them from land where they come out for people hand. Now, the source who has been directly engaging in the matter said the revocation and redistribution were carried out in total disregard of the process, official recommendations, and existing approvals. In fact, quoting him, he says, "I am personally involved as a lawyer in this matter and several other cases of revocation and reallocation of land to private persons by Wike," the source said. Wike revoked the land, which totals 30 hectares, and allocated it to some persons, one of whom we hear we were told in confidence is the current INEC chairman, unfortunately for Wike, a former naval chief officer, Awal Gambo. And some serving army personnel have vested interest in the land and have partly developed some part of the land. Now, the sources claim that the land was originally designated as park and recreation area, but Wike allegedly changed the land use to multipurpose and issued fresh rights of occupancy, ROFO, to new beneficiaries. Now, in a letter dated 17th May 2022 and addressed to the MD CEO Santos Estate Limited, the author Hajia Raskatu Abdulaziz, the Director Parks and Recreation Department, said this. She said rather, this is with reference to your letter dated 21st of 2022 and above. And above matter, subject matter. Request for confirmation and clarification of the status in respect to plots, number of the land, in Guduwa district in Abuja. So bottom line, waiting caused the brouhaha today between Wike and the security officials or the soldiers. Now, as a result of land revocation, land will be say belong to some people, including a top military official or top military officials, because not be only one person, where Wike revoke, totaling about 30 hectares of land in revocam, carry give other people. We could quickly listen to that.
I'm sorry. Show me the document you have. You have no document. Bring the document.
We have documents and everything has been submitted.
Excuse me, I'm the minister. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that. We cannot continue to add in this impunity. Where the approval even to people. You cannot continue this way. This country cannot continue along this line. How can that man at his level, even if he has a problem, he cannot reach me and say, look, I'm sorry, see what I have. You will send soldiers to intimidate who? We are all from this country. And this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying gun to intimidate people to not to do their work. Let me tell you, if not government chief of defense staff who spoke to me here, you could have killed everybody here. No problem. I'm not one of those that they can intimidate.
On the contrary,
I'm doing my job.
Sir, we are not intimidating anybody.
That's what you're doing.
The civilian, the engineer mobilized to site, and then staff or workers of FCTA look at this.
No, listen now.
They were threatening them. And that was when the admiral gave the order.
He cannot give order against government.
Because the papers are complete and he said he submitted them.
Are you the one? Listen, you know the police will have. Are you the one that will say, paper? What will show me that you are good? First of all, show me that government gave you this place. Two, show me that you have an approval to build what you are building. It has nothing to do with I'm a vice admiral, I'm a lieutenant general. That is not it. We must work according to law. We must work according to law.
We forwarded everything to you.
Yes, so you.
No, can you not tell like this? Don't tell like this.
Don't you try this?
I said it. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't tell me this. Keep quiet.
Don't tell me I'm lying.
I'm more than you. I'm more than you. Don't intimidate me. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I am Emirates. I'm Emirates. I'm so welcome.
I am a small boy, but the commission I'm carrying is very focused.
You cannot say
those to come and prevent civilians
How do I face him? How do I face him? This is not professional. It's not professional. You can't be facing the minister with this thing. It's
okay. From demolition is not part.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Order matters. I'm an offside. Take to orders.
So what? You had a who? Than me.
So I'm an offside. Take to orders.
No, that you take illegal order.
Star General.
Okay.
You can't say no. That means
You can never develop this property. I will not allow it.
No problem, sir.
I'm
only acting on my orders.
If you want to kill everybody, kill everybody.
We will not kill
you. You cannot.
We will not. We will not kill anybody, sir.
You put yourself in trouble.
My friend, you see, what is that? You cannot shut me up. You cannot shut me up. You are my junior. You cannot even talk when I'm talking. Because you're only that way. I'll be talking and policemen will be talking.
Hey, yeah, taking with us. We don't have any.
I'm not to carry security to intimidate because you're an officer. Nobody does
Right,
that.
so I don't keep our guests waiting for too long. That's a bit of the drama that played out this afternoon, and you don't hear the reason why this drama play out. Not be just because of say the officers no let Wike, access the land. Now because of say the drama will happen to this land. I say some part of this land, about 30, totaling about 30 hectares, be 31 hectares. 9 they say Oga Wike gather. Some na park areas, some even they giving to ex-military officers and all that. Now in gather collect them but revoke the lands from their hand. Now they reallocate them to people. And the people where they revoke them for their hand now, where some of them are ex-military officers, come to build inside. And then of course they send their boys to guard the place as the construction they go on, or God try to enter the place and they refuse. Now, but one of the things that caught me, according to what the lawyer said, is the fact that one of the persons where they newly reallocate the land to, now they just, newly appointed INEC chairman. If INEC chairman is already giving land in Abuja, how sure are we of a free and fair election? Well, there's a big question we'll have to respond to later on, but let me just bring in my guests into the studio as we discuss the state of the nation and the fears of Trump's threat. Joining me inside the studio now, one Ogawe Sabiwewe, barrister Red Daniel Jugo Esquire, a principal partner and CEO of Black Palms Consults, team lead Sarina Initiative for Peace, Justice and Development. Barrister Jugo, now a Nigerian legal practitioner with over 20 years specialized experience in security analysis, peace building, and indigenous rights advocacy. And they join us inside the studio. Barrister Jugo, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry, I pulled you out of your comfort zone this evening. Please forgive me. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Barrister Jugo, are you there? Good evening. Ew, our village people. Barrister Jugo, are you there, please? Good evening. Okay, so I don't know if he's still there, but I'm sure he would somehow rejoin us. Barrister Jugo, are you there, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you. You're very faint. I don't know.
Yes.
Put energy for your voice. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very well. We can hear you now, crystal clear.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So before I go straight to waiting Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo talk, make I ask you, for inside Plateau State, I know you're from Plateau State and you perhaps live there too. So for Plateau State so far, Middle Belt will be one of those, Plateau States amongst one of those states that we don't face this alleged Christian genocide, since they call them alleged, or the denied Christian genocide where they say it happened. I would like to hear from you. What's been the pulse of the people for for Plateau State since the wake of Trump's threat?
Thank you once again for the opportunity to be in your studio. Except that, of course, this is virtual this time. I just want to say I just want to say that at this point, one of the major things that bothers everybody, or has been a major issue, is that for over 10 years now, we have been having, killings going on in the Middle Belt in Plateau State. Just in my community, where thousands have been killed, thousands have lost their homes, many have been maimed. A lot of these people have had, long extended periods in the hospital, suffering one thing or the other. And the sad thing about this whole entire thing is that, for instance, the Irigwe community, which I am from Basa local government in Plateau State, and I also happen to be a board of trustee member of the Irigwe Development Association. I will tell you this very clearly, that just a few kilometers from that very community is the Third Armor Division. So we have a stark and very clear formation of military presence around the community. Apart from that, on the way to this, to either Miango or Kwal, which are are communities where people are found, you have checkpoints, every step of the way, all the way in. Now, how, in spite of all of this presence of the military, we still have killings going on a regular basis. You still have people that will farm. Before you know what's happening, cows will be let loose into those farms, and they graze away all the sweat that people have spent rainy season trying to plant and harvest, and with the hopes that they will be able to harvest at the end of the day. So now it has it is almost as if nobody in that community believes that there's government presence, because people can do what they want at any time that they want to do it. Now, fast forward to this Trump declaration threat of of dealing with the situation, since we don't seem to be able to deal with it in our using the powerful apparatus that
Mhm,
has been given
mhm.
to the
To be
president.
clear, to be clear, Trump's threats to handle the terrorists himself, to decimate them, and not
Yes.
attack Nigeria, because there's been a misinterpretation of that statement that he intends to attack Nigeria. I don't know where that is coming from, but I just
It's just mischief. It's just mischief. In fact, in recent times, I've decided that even the conversation about whether there's a genocide or not, the question that I've asked time and time again is: have there people been dying in the Middle Belt, in Plateau State, in Taraba State, in all of these states and beyond? Yes, they have been. Have children been massacred? Children who just wanted to write their homework at night using lanterns, because most of these places are rural areas, and some of those places don't even have stable electricity. They just wanted to have their do their homeworks and be able to wake up in the next morning and go to their school and be able to be taught and come back, hoping that when they grow up, they're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or something. But some of those children never lived to see the next day, never lived to see the sun rise again. So, to those individuals, all they're looking for is a messiah or somebody that will be able to cradle them and be able to say, listen, we are going to solve this problem. Now, wherever this whether it is a juju man that is going to come in there and wave a magic wand and make this go away, or a Donald Trump who is now saying, offering help, because obviously where we are now is that it is clear.
hello, Barrister Jugo. Right, can you hear me? I think he's had an interruption. Now, this is also the stories around this whole issue happening in Plateau, Benue, Middle Belt, and Nigeria generally gets me very emotional, because I not just understand, I never see any parent where go they comfortable. You see, say your children, they constantly under attack, and something they will they kill your children, you born them plenty, and they die, they go. And you'd rather say, no, 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 not only my children, they die. Even my neighbor children too, they die. They almost I don't know as I go use believe say the reason we make we they live in denial about what's they happen with all of these killings. It's really very difficult to understand and to comprehend why we're rather running away from the problem than facing the problem as we ought to. It's really disheartening. Hello, Barrister Jugo, are you back with us? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear.
Go ahead, please.
The thing is this, and we need to be very. I have watched with great dismay. It is sad me that I am looking at these individuals who are our colleague Daniel Bola, amongst other
I was going to
individuals
come to
who
it.
have spent. Oh yes, because he has been a big
Like
disgrace
you.
in my view. I have been very disappointed in Daniel Bola. and his utterances. And it would seem as if he has sold his soul, because anybody who would deny, who is sitting down in any of those communities and listening to the kind of things that people like Daniel Bola and the rest of his ilk.
Oh dear. Oh no. I just hope so will not get caught network problem. This is the last thing I want right now. I want this conversation to be smooth. Hello, Dr. Mr. Barrister Redzi. Okay. All right. We do hope that we can establish a clearer communication and then get back to that conversation. But at the meantime, if you just what he was talking about, Daniel Bola, I would like even bring that matter of Daniel Bola to the fore. Make we even see within Daniel Bola talk, because he was in an interview, yesterday with I think there's Charles Aniagolo of Arise Television, and as usual, they waiting. In fact, before I get straight to that waiting a talk, we get waiting a talk where the talk say they're in talks with the United States, even though Charles tried to make him. Are you there, Dr. Rezi? Please, Barrister Rezi, whenever you re-establish conversation, please kindly let me know, because I can't hear you. I can't hear you. We cannot hear you at all. So if you re-establish conversation, please kindly let me know. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think you're trying to get direct calls and it's interrupting your conversation. Sorry.
Is it better now?
It is fine. It is very fine.
Okay.
Go ahead, please. Yes, please. So
I was just saying that
disappointment in Daniel Bola.
Yes, I'll
utterances.
Yes, I was just saying that anybody who's sitting down in those communities and is hearing the kind of things that people like Daniel Bola have been saying will be very sad.
Oh dear, not again. Okay, so going back to Daniel Bola, let me see if I can play excerpt of that conversation. And then he also did mention that, if you watch very well, if you're in the news, you'll find out that there is renewed vigor in fighting terrorism, because our military have been decimating them right now. And he's very sure and certain, as specifically speaking, that Trump is not going to sanction Nigeria, because the Nigerian government is now, working very hard and is doing what it should do. Right. Okay. Barrister Jigo, I'm so sorry about this network issue.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can very well.
Okay. So let me just quickly say this: that when you are a citizen of a nation state, and the people who you elected to govern you, who you had a social contract with, and said, I cannot take care of myself, I do not have the instrument of coercion and of that can be able to safeguard or give security to my family and my community, and they hand it over to a president, in this case President Tinubu. What is generally expected is that he will put his best foot forward to ensure that the lives and properties of ordinary citizens are being taken care of at all costs. Now, when this does not happen, it is assumed that one or two things is the case. It is either the security agencies have been compromised, or they are in a place where they are helpless against the firepower of the terrorists that jump into compounds where people are sleeping and massacre people in their beds. Now, we're going to go on a limb here and assume that it is because that the second reason is at play here, even though time and time again, even on this show today, victims have clearly said countless times that they believe that there is collusion between some of these terrorists and some of the security agents, where they have been stationed to take care of this of the citizens. Now, if at this point Donald Trump is now saying, you know what, we know that your citizens are being killed on a regular basis, and we are not very satisfied with the efforts you're putting in there. what I expected was not to try to whitewash the situation as it is, or try to put a spin on the deaths and the massacre and the bloodletting that is going on in the Middle Belt. What I expected was for him to say very clearly that he intends, that he actually desires to see a stop to all of this madness in the Middle Belt and elsewhere, and to ask for some level of collaboration with the US government. That way, you also show that you are not complicit, that you actually genuinely want to make sure that these massacres end. Now, when you do that, you leave nobody in doubt. Now, but what we now see is that people are hopping on airplanes and going everywhere outside of Nigeria to go and speak and convince individuals or governments that, no, the definition of genocide is not this, it's probably just a massacre. Or it is that, everybody else is being killed. As if that is not a public relations nightmare. I do not know
How does it make you? How does it make you feel, Barrister Jugo, to see?
It makes me feel really sad.
I'm
It makes me
coming.
feel really sad.
Especially to see that this narrative is already pushed to some Democrats, politicians in the United States, and even CNN, likes of some personalities in CNN are already buying it. There is no genocide in Nigeria. How does that make you feel?
No, it makes
with this attack.
It makes me feel really sad. It makes me ask the question, what are we really prioritizing? Because if we spent this power of diplomacy, this lifeline for diplomatic conversations with governments, powerful governments such as the US and the UK and Canada, instead of spending it trying to whitewash or give a spin to what we all know is happening in the country, I thought that the conversation should be, can we get more armaments? Can we get more intelligence? Can your satellites be able to be put at our disposal so that we can be able to see the things that you can see? Because obviously, the Americas and a lot of all these other countries even have even better, they seem to have even better intel than we do in this country. What happened to leaning in where these people are seated at that intelligence table? What happened to that? What happened to just empathizing properly and not making the citizens that have lost family members, community members feel like what the government really cares about is how they look in the international community? Because that is the way it looks right now, that we seem to care more about how we look as the giant of Africa. We're being dragged by the US because that is the way they have chosen to look at it.
All right, but I am going to take you on the recent development and the recent achievement or purported achievements of the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government come talk here, they don't get renewed fights against terrorists. In fact, not be small bombardment within they bombard them. As ISWAP and what do they call them? As ISWAP and Boko Haram, they fight one corner. Then they did the other corner, they bombard them, and they've established a lot of success in that bombardment to ABC. They carry the some of them well because in fact we never see this kind of bombardment before. Now there's a footage, an area view footage where ABC then post alongside this showing the achievement and all that. Only Nigeria say this is the exact similar NAF airstrike targeting ISWAP sometime in 2020. Nigerians deflate this. Even other countries, so don't jump in and I'm saying, no. This, in fact, even AISF could tell. How you see this one? Because one of the things your friend and Bola talk yesterday when they get an interview, he they pride on the fact that you can see the renewed vigor, the renewed fight of terrorism, that the federal government is now all out for them, and that security agencies are doing all their best, they're decimating them. And this is one of the decimations where we've seen a wrong or fake footage that we use. What's your reaction to that?
My reaction is to say very clearly that I will also not use one brush to paint over each and every security agency in the country.
Okay.
They are gallant men and women that are working day and night to try to make sure that the
Absolutely.
territorial integrity of Nigeria is safeguarded. No one can deny that.
And kudos to
No
them.
one can also deny that while this is going on, we're saying that even much more can be done. We're saying that what happened to giving ourselves timelines to work with? Are we going to carry this same fight for eternity? Is this how it's supposed to be? Or are we supposed to get to a place where we can be able to say, listen, this is our border. Everything that is happening within here, we need to quell it. Do we have enough manpower? If we do not, do we need to relax some of the laws to be able to ensure that every human being who is under attack can also be given uh, you know access to some arms? If you cannot deal with it, then you need to start to see how you can, the laws and the policies are made in such a way that an everyday man, someone right now in Tahu, in the heart of Miango, can be sure that he can live to see the next day, even if somebody, an assailant or a terrorist, comes into his place. So, for all of the gallant men and women who are doing their jobs on a regular basis, we say kudos to you. We also know that there are a lot of people, that there are elements within these security agencies that are working with the terrorists, because that is why we are at this point where it doesn't seem as if the problem is going away. So, and I once again I need to say that these security issues are very, very important. You cannot afford to run yourself into a PR, a public relations nightmare. If you're going to speak truth, you go ahead, speak it the way you need to. Talk to the Nigerian people, empathize with victims wherever they may be. I'm happy that they just put in a new minister for humanitarian and poverty reduction, who is actually even from our community. So he knows how it is, how the suffering on a daily basis of the citizenry in some of these communities can be. And I say kudos to that. And I hope that he'll be allowed to work and be able to reach these victims and in communities that have been victimized by these terrorists over time. But
All
in the
right.
meantime, one thing is very clear. We as communities that have suffered this pogrom for such a long time are not very pleased, are not very impressed with the kind of conversations that have come out about this thing. We need help.
All right.
Let us
Okay.
get it.
All right. So one of the things that governments don't talk over and over again, and most military officials, then they talk say now mostly farmer headers clash. So the place who really gets pure terrorism from northeast, while we get banditry for northwest, and for north central, not just farmer headers clash. What is your interpretation of what's
There-
going on in the
There's
north,
no clash.
in the
There's
north
no
central?
farmer herders clash, madam.
What is really
Let me
going on?
make it very
How
clear.
do you interpret what's going on?
What happens there is a massacre of innocent farmers.
To what
They are
end?
sleeping in their beds to the end for land grabbing.
Oh,
I hope
wow.
you know. Yes, I hope you know that as we speak right now, somewhere in Jol, in Riom local government, they have routed everybody in a particular village. For instance, had they have changed the name of that village, people that went back soon after the initial routing of them from that village went back there and found that the terrorists are living in their houses. In their houses, as we speak to you right now, all the security agencies know about this situation. Has anything been done to make sure that the lands that were taken away from these people are returned back? Have they done anything? I'll tell you no. Because if not, places like Mahanga, that is the name that they have given it now.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
That wasn't the name before.
that is what it is. It is now known. So if you go to a park and you want to go to those areas, If you say any other name apart from the fact that you're going to Mahanga, they might look at you strangely because the change of name has been total and complete. And only the original names of some of those places just resides in their hearts, in the hearts of those who are originally from those places. So you have the complete takeover of certain communities in Plateau State and all in Benue State, Taraba State, and a couple of these other places. When someone comes in and meets you, you don't have a single weapon in your house and sprays you with his AK-47. That is not a clash. That is a massacre, and that is what is happening there. And we're saying at the same time that the whole calling of those terrorists bandits, I believe that it was someone somewhere that put a spin on the whole thing so that it is not given the seriousness that it deserves. Because we grow up knowing that bandits, you know, you can when you say bandits and when you say terrorists, you know that the weight that you are caught to both of them is not the same. It's not. So you can actually have a bandit that may not carry a heavy armaments to go and steal or
These
rob.
bandits kill, maim,
But
and
what
destroy.
happens here? Oh yes, well, that is what they do. They maim, they kill, they destroy. That is what they do. Simply that. So I believe that one of the things that needs to be done, and I also urge media, when it is time to call it by its name, I think that we should stop trying to make it sound better or to water down what it really is. Those people are terrorists, simply stuff,
So,
and
so
they should be called what they are.
that's for the bandits. You know, we get them for different shapes and forms. How about the armed
Yeah.
headsmen? The ones who basically they let people go farms again for those regions. What we can't call them? Because you
They're
know, the UN
terrorists.
is saying
They're
that they
still terrorists.
designate Mieti Allah and sanction them and all that, but they're shouting that no, you cannot designate us or sanction us because of the activities of a few of us and all that. But then they're not fishing out those bad eggs amongst them where they cause those troubles. So why you won't place those headsmen where they go villages, burn people, go farms, kill people for their farms? Where do you place them?
Any person who decides to inflict terror in the minds and the hearts of individuals, even before shooting one bullet, is already a terrorist. So when you have a situation in this case where they go and they kill people, and we say we're not going to call them what they are, then we're playing, then we're joking, then we're not serious yet. Any individual, whether it is a farmer or a cattle herder who carries a gun and behaves in a way that he wants to annihilate and kill and destroy another person's life or a community's life, should be called what they are: a terrorist. Simply speaking, that is what they are, and that is what they will continue to be. To be known as,
Yeah,
and that
but
is what.
some people from Fulani extraction feels like they feel like that is profiling.
So, and that is why I'm making it very clear, because as I speak to you right now, we also do know that not all of them engage in this act of terrorism.
Yes.
We know quite a bit. We know quite a number of them. So, I also will not paint them in one paintbrush as well. So, but when there is a need to call out individuals, and that is the sad thing about this. So I've been seeing groups, northern elders or this, they have been coming out to try to debunk the whole, I know it's not a genocide, it is this. And I was asking myself, where were all these people when people were dying by the day? They didn't say one thing, they didn't raise one voice, not one bag of rice or no, nothing was sent to any of these communities to be able to help them. But now they are posturing and standing up and saying that they are going to deal with Trump. I mean, it's such a comedy of sorts. They are not going to stand. They are not going to back down and everything. And I'm wondering, Shouldn't we be saying, shouldn't the narrative be, these killings have happened for too long. It is time for inter-country relations where this is
To
concerned.
join forces with any other country or superior
Exactly. To
country.
any other country. In
So you
fact,
mean that we
this
should
kind
actually be happy and embrace Trump's decision with open arms?
as a matter of fact, if you ask any of those children in any of those communities that have been killed time and time again, you think they really do care who comes to save them? You think that is a matter to be discussed? If you think so, then you don't understand what it means to live your life in terror, not knowing whether you can see tomorrow. Then you don't know what it means. If you did, all that you would be bothered with, and all they are bothered with, whether it is in Benue, whether it is in Plateau, whether it's in Taraba, in fact, in any of those states that are facing in Zamfara state, any of those states where you have these gun-wielding people that at any point in time may just go berserk and just kill people for whatever gains that they want, whether it is land grabbing, in most of the cases in the middle belt, or it is to take over their mining sites for minerals, as is very evident across the country. So for whatever reason it is, those people that are in those communities, all they want is to be able to be sure that they can live to see another day.
All right. So there are people, some
So
members
don't
or
think that
some
is too
citizens.
much to even.
Okay. So some citizens of the Middle
I'm
Belt,
listening.
yes, some citizens of the Middle Belt
Yeah.
actually wrote to the US Senate and to
Yes.
the House of Representatives, including Donald Trump, seeking for this assistance before their plea, is heeded. What do you think? I mean, you're from the Middle Belt, and I hear that
Yes.
it's a lot of people from Plateau, Benue were part of those. Were you part of that in any way? Were you privy of this information of the appeal? And what do you think about going that extra mile? Your people going that extra mile to seek for help from the United States.
The question to ask is, why was it necessary to do that in the first place? I want to make it very clear, and I need it to be heard very, very loudly, that when a young man or a little boy is complaining time and time again to his teacher that he's being bullied in school, and the teacher does nothing or looks away or laughs off that concern, would you find it a problem when the son actually goes and comes back to school with his mother or his father to confront the teacher and the bully? Of course not. I'm using this to make it very clear that, do you know how many matters have been taken to the ECOWAS courts just to compel the state to either pay compensation or to take care of people that have been IDPs that have been displaced? You know how many cases are there? Do you know how
So,
many times I remember I wrote on behalf of our community, wrote a 16-page letter with about 30 pages of annexures, pictures, data, and everything like that, just before that was before the massacre in Gashish, that is in Birkin Ladi local government,
mhm.
about 5 or 6 years ago, where they killed in one fell swoop, one night, they killed about 200 people. 200 people were killed on one night. And we were having those conversations, when the vice president then under Buhari came to visit the state. So imagine the number of paperwork that has been put just by my community. Don't even talk about Boko's community, Chief community, the Idoma community, name the community. I'm sure that if you count the paperwork, the stacks of paperwork that have been written on this matter, you would be buried under it. But we did not see that there was anything that was being done to help the situation. And knowing us for what we can be, we care very much about our image abroad. And that is why, in spite of where we are, in fact, we like to pride ourselves to being the giant of Africa, because it's an ego thing as well. So why not take it to somewhere where they can be able to, where the United States can be, if United States then says, can we have a conversation with the Nigerian government, they will be more inclined to listen. So that was what led to having this kind of conversation. And that is why I heard you even mention earlier on that Reverend Dachomo, who is also from Plateau State, is speaking to taking the government to The Hague. Because at some point in time, there's just a belief that there is a lot going on. There's a lot of complicity in various places. And that is why the terrorism has refused to abate. Maybe if they can, also join forces with Nigeria, maybe we might be able to see a change in the fortune of normal.
Why do you think there is that complicity you said? To what end?
It could be for any number of reasons. Like we said, I know that there's a community called Mayfair. It's in Just North, and that is the funny thing about it. It is not even in the dead of the village. It is in Just North. That entire place, that entire village, they routed everybody, everyone, and it has one of the most fertile piece of real estate that you can find closest to the city center. It also has minerals in there. And as we speak with you now, other people have now taken over that place. People that I know of individuals that had spent their time, made some money, built their houses there. Nothing is standing. All you see is the carcasses of houses, churches, and all of that have been burnt to the ground. And of course, not too far from there is another enclave of this terrorist.
So, in your opinion, now, I mean, you're a lawyer, so I'm sure you can tell me this straight on. Do you think that these attacks are? I know that there are also Muslims who are killed, but do you think that it is more specifically directed towards Christians?
Now, the thing I will say very clearly, and I think it's something that we might have to do it in a very elementary fashion, and it goes like this. The question one: Have people been killed in the Middle Belt? Have you had some of the which region have you had some of the greatest number of deaths?
The Middle Belt
is in the Middle Belt.
Yes,
in the Middle Belt, what faith is mostly practiced by the Middle Belters?
Christianity.
It's Christianity. So I don't think that the question now, the fact that Trump decided to project that demographic, that data that he has in his at his disposal, and it has become such a big issue. I've decided as well that one of the things when we have some of these conversations, if we know that we're going to enter very murky waters with the conversation, we bring the conversation right back to earth quickly by asking the question: Have our people been killed time and time again? Have thousands of our people been killed? Can you argue that? And of course, the answer is going to be, of course.
How possible is it that a government will be in power and watch a particular people from a particular faith, with different terrorists, in the names of different terrorist organizations, decimate particular group of people or more of particular group of people as often as possible. And then we keep saying that there is no genocide. To what end? And then how possible is it that government itself perhaps it's finding it a bit difficult to tackle this situation? Because I don't want to say that they're helpless. You know, they like saying they're helpless. So you just be like saying the thing too hard then. Because a lot of people get confidence and faith for our military. I mean, still the renewed vigor where they say they don't use the fight back now again. You know, so they don't even get war between ISWAP and Boko Haram. If they see the fight inside water, they fight, serious fight and all that. So where the Nigerian army of the economics, where those Nigerian army would we say gallant, how come we no fit and do this? For almost 20 years now, you know, you said over a decade, it's about 20 years now, this has been ongoing. How come? Where did we get it from? What is going on?
You see, in the absence of any clear-cut explanation, that is why we feel that some individuals must be compromised somewhere. That the security apparatus, as is apparent to us, is definitely having its compromise here and there. If not, Nigeria, that has been able to send gallant soldiers everywhere in the world, are seemingly helpless in dealing with their own issues in their in country. Does that even make sense? If you say that the terrorists have very sophisticated armaments, the question I am asking is all the taxes that have been collected from ordinary citizens, why don't you convert some of that money to matching the armaments that the terrorists also have? We cannot be using those arguments. We cannot be speaking as if, you know, we are not a sovereign nation. We're not a sovereign country. And it's because we haven't really been able to push the narrative or push our status as a sovereign nation the way we need to do it, and be able to say very clearly that we can take care of our own by ourselves. That is why individuals who are outside of our compound are now saying, please, Chairman, if be like say you need help. If you need help, we'll be here to help you. Because it doesn't make sense that your people are dying on a regular basis. Instead of accepting that handshake, now we're jumping up and down and we're shouting. We're a sovereign country. People cannot talk to us anyhow. And all of that. And I'm wondering why. Why are we like this? How did we get to this place? You know, because it doesn't make sense. The people are dying. As I speak to you right now, only God knows who is going to die tonight. Only God knows. And that is the reality. Can't run away from it.
All right. Okay. So, you know, we're waiting with the expectation, you know, since this Trump wake up call and all that, waiting on people they expect and moving forward. Well, what's the expectation from your people from the U.S. intervention?
What are we expecting from the intervention?
Yes, waiting beyond expectation, especially as government, like, because clearly government no one made them come in. They say they don't handle the matter. So do you guys think that perhaps government will not have the renewed vigor, like they said, to tackle the issue heads on? Or you guys would still perhaps keep pushing for the US to come in and do what they have to do, especially considering saying that people from another place now right to the US in the first place?
Yeah, and that's another thing that I heard, saying a lobbyist, saying a lobbyist in the United States. I'm like, are you people serious? Our people are dying. We have run out to go. We are not being heard in our community. We have gone out to go and say, please, come and speak to our people. Come and speak to our government. Come and help our government to help us. And then you are saying that it is lobbyists, as if it is some faceless company that is going to do all of that. It is the people who are being killed on a regular basis. It's really that simple. What are we expecting? Some of it is what we're already having conversations about now, because it is now that this conversation has gained traction, that, you know, people are now having conversations and trying to say, well, it is not like that. We can do this. You don't have to get worried. And all that bothers the normal everyday villager in any of those places is do what you need to do. So we're expecting that we expect to see a renewed vigor. If they didn't think that it was so important, or the lives of the people in the middle belt wasn't so important, now they I'm sure they have seen that people do really care about what happens in the country. And instead of fighting this narrative, like I said before, the question now should be, what can we do? Where can we find these individuals? What can we do to ensure that within the next 100 days we're able to take care of, to decimate this terrorists where they need to be? And I think one of the clergy foremost clergyman mentioned, also made that suggestion, and I agree. It would have been something for him to say, Donald Trump, we appreciate what you're trying to do, and we're not adverse to it. Give us 100 days. Let us collaborate with you and see what can happen to
That'll
make
be
sure
that'll
that
be Pastor Deboye.
some of this
Go ahead.
the complaints that you'll get out of him. That's the kind of conversation I hope to be hearing. Not for people like Daniel Bola to be jumping up and down and gesturing and acting as if he doesn't come from this country that we are all living inside.
All right. So, Barrister Jugo, just very quickly, we hear that a cleric from your region, interestingly, Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo, he has expressed his unwavering support to the United States intervention in the Christian genocide, not alleged. Now, since we all agree that there's a genocide against Christians, so in an interview with, I think that was News Central Television, Dachomo accused the President Bola Tinubu-led government generally and officials of complicity in the killing. He said the repentant Boko Haram members have been reunited with the Nigerian Army, in the Air Force, in the police. And that's why Christians must have say in politics. He challenged claims that Muslims are also being killed. He said by who? When they, say, when they come and shout, and all that, they have beheaded a head of a Christian and they lick the blood. That's what he said. That's very gory. He said Muslims claiming that they are killed, that we also killed them. Ask them, how did we kill them? When did we kill them? Look at the recent killings. Look at what the child. Show the picture of a child. And most importantly, he has vowed that he will drag the Nigerian government to the International Criminal Court, Hague. How possible do you think that is? How successful do you think he would, come out? Especially considering that the US, by the way, also controls the Hague.
Yeah, he knows what he's saying. We know what he's saying. And we know that he's not making things up. To succeed in any suit of any kind, if it is a criminal case, you need to prove beyond reasonable doubt.
Absolutely.
That's
why I'm asking this question to take the Nigerian government to the International Criminal Court. This is beyond ECOWAS, ECOWAS where they be chairman. The International Criminal Court. And US already gets interest on the matter. How bad do you think this will be or not for the Nigerian government if he does that?
Yeah, so the ultimately there are so many there let us not forget that we even mentioned recently. Well, but lest I digress, let me just finish my train of thoughts. What you need to do is to place evidence before this courts and state very clearly that crimes have been perpetrated. You have evidence, you have witnesses, because they are in abundance. Witnesses and evidence, documentations, videos, pictures, they abound. Now, I know that some of the times people would say, it may be hard to prove the matter in court. I would say I would not agree with that. I think there's too much evidence out there. So if he says he's going to take this matter up, I believe that he can take the matter up and take it up successfully. I believe that it is a matter that will be keenly looked at, and when it is by the time it is done, I'm pretty sure that it would show that probably some individuals that have been given the reins of power in any of the security agencies will be found to either have been complicit or have shown great ineptitude where in the discharge of their duties, or even negligence, or even outright colluding with the terrorists. I'm pretty sure that they can have their matter heard there, and the matter can be successful. And if it is, the pressure on the Nigerian state to do even better than it is doing now will be re-emphasized, and everybody would know out there that that there's generally to be able to get off the bad books of the of the countries that ordinarily should be our allies, who we do business with and who we exchange cultures with, and all of that. When you're put on the hot seat, you need to discharge yourself. And if they find any of the people that handle security apparatuses has been compromised, I'm sure they'll be bringing them before the Hague in their personal capacities as well, just like happened with the Charles Taylors of this life and a lot of other people before and after him. So this is the only way that helpless communities of the Middle Belt and elsewhere can be able to take their matters up, with the hopes that they will be able to be heard on the world stage and not downplay or whitewash what is happening in country in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barry Sajigo. Sincere apologies. I pulled you out this late. It's already getting very late. Let me release you, because once I begin with my people, the time will take time too much. So make Allah, you may go freshen up. Thank you so immensely. I appreciate you for your time. I do hope that you oblige us when next to call on you to at least chime in on such issues.
No worries. Thank you again. It has always been a pleasure to come on the show. So to everybody who's listening, please keep praying for us out here and support us in any way that you can. We must be seen to be one country. Let it not be a middle belt thing.
Okay,
alone.
so now that you said it, sorry for cutting you. So there's something I do every 1st of January, yeah? Because it's my birthday, I reach out, and I would like to communicate with you later on. Let's know the needs of some of these people so that I can use my little platform to reach out to them as much as I can while I do that during 1st of January. I hope we can make that happen.
Yes, I'll be very happy.
Because whilst they're still, struggling to get back to their rooms, they need to leave.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that's good. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of your very avid listeners. I know they are listening, and I thank them as well.
You'll be hearing from them. I'll send you their reactions. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All the best. Good night. Thank you. All right, let's get back to the conversation. So, since we talk about these killings right now, I'd like to play a few things, a few questions we BC Charles and I will throw out to Daniel Bola and waiting in response. We take a listen.
We're not seeing any attempt by the president to reach out to Nigerians at this moment. There have been very loud, increasingly strident calls for President Tinubu to address the nation about all this. And many people say they're shocked that Mr. Tinubu has still not spoken to Nigerians as a leader talking to the people he leads. Why hasn't he done so? I'm not talking about his aides. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the president. Why hasn't he deemed it necessary to talk to Nigerians about this huge quarrel that's broken out with the Americans at a time when many Nigerians are afraid and worried that things could get worse? Why not?
Well, I want to assume that the Nigerians you are referring to are Nigerians that need more education about communication.
I don't understand what you're talking. I asked you a straightforward question. You're not answering.
What is the straightforward question?
The straightforward question is, why hasn't the president,
so if the president
addressed his people at a time of incredible crisis?
And if the president speaks to the Nigerian people through tweets, is that not a communication?
Please. Let me borrow the words of the
former... If the president tweets, is that not a communication? If the president issues a statement, is that not a communication?
No, he needs to address the Nigerian people. Where? On television, on radio, now, where they can watch him and hear him and look at him and hear what he has to say.
When the president received envoy and was speaking about what Nigeria is doing and the commitment of Nigeria, which is covered by TV and reported by radio, is that not a means of communication?
Let me borrow the words of the former special advisor to the Tinubu presidency on political matters, Hakeem Baba Ahmed, a member of your government, who resigned in frustration. His question was, what does it take to get President Tinubu to address the country? Is he not a leader that's elected by the people? Isn't that what leaders do? If not now, when? That's a straightforward question.
Okay. You say you want him to address Nigeria through TV?
No, I'm simply asking you a straightforward question.
The president is communicating every day. So this is what I'm taught about communication. You issue a tweet is communication. You speak through TV is a communication. Through radio is a communication. And I tell you the official act of the president is covered by TV. You have State House press call that report to you about the daily activities of the president, including the visual coverage of the president's engagement with people. Is that not a communication?
All right. So, yeah, you heard that argument between Daniel Bola and Charles Aniagolo. Now, let me play some more excerpts, especially as to what they do.
Direct communication, can you tell us, is taking place right now between the Tinubu administration and the White House? Because we recall that you put out a tweet some time ago where you said, or you claimed, that President Tinubu and Mr. Trump were going to meet.
Right.
Whatever happened to that?
Right. So I said, hopefully, they are going to meet either in the White House or in the State House. Now,
well, that doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
But it will still happen. There's no timeline to it. It can happen anytime. But the point I'm saying is, as per
well, you did say at the time that they were going to meet in the next couple of days or so.
And what does that mean?
That was the impression. Couple of days means 2 days.
No.
That's literally what
okay,
couple...
maybe you are English, I'm a Nigerian. That's not...
Yeah, but even if couple of days goes beyond 2 days, the expectation is that it is going to be within a very reasonable period
and we're
time.
Still within the time of reasonability.
Your definition of time.
But let me, everybody's subject to interpretation. But let me escalate that further. I get asked, Reuters have asked me, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal.
So basically there is no meeting that is imminent at the moment.
Wall Street Journal and some of these other organizations have asked whether we have a direct contact, whether we have a specific date. And I told them that in diplomacy, protocol is key. When you're building on something, it is important that it be preserved and protected. We can never be moved to a point where we tell you the stage we're at.
No, but when you say protocol, what are you talking about? You don't even have an ambassador in Washington. So what kind of protocol
So you don't have to have an ambassador
for
your missions to operate.
What is the protocol that you're talking about, that you're following? Because we're not, I mean, we've got...
The protocol I'm
we
talking
have
about,
people in that we know people.
Right.
Arise even has a correspondent who's very close to them.
What did she say?
Very close to, I'm not talking about her necessarily.
Who else then?
There are people behind the scenes, okay, who are also very close to the White House. And there's been no indication whatsoever
So
of any direct communication between Aso Rock and the White House.
And we cannot be cowed or pushed to the point of revealing the stage we are at in this discussion, because in diplomacy there must be respect for protocol.
Okay. All right, so there you are. You have that argument. But one of the most interesting things will happen now. That tweet will show you about the security agencies coming to say that we're bombarding them, we're decimating them, and you can see that an aerial view of the attack where we say they don't attack ISWAP and all that. Only for Nigerians to go dig and say, excuse me, this is an old footage. Why they carry this footage to deceive us? And it's the level of distrust Nigerians now get for inside their government, because it is so bad that Nigerians started making fun of the entire conversation. You can imagine this kind of tweet a person put up. Just wake up like this, put up this tweet. You see that. From the producers of APC fake bishops comes another blockbuster. Boko Haram versus ISWAP. Nigerians will not kill me. So apart from that, Nigerians actually do not believe, first of all, that there is a war between ISWAP and Boko Haram. They don't believe them at all. In fact, there are different reactions to that conversation, because people kind of look like, say, government. Why honor they use our head like this? And people go on ask, say, how did they get this bad? We don't get this level of mistrust between us and our people. Can see this. Person get mind, rent fake bishops, but you think he cannot organize friendly match or friendly war between Boko Haram and ISWAP? They play. How did it get this bad? And you remember, say, all of these things, what would they tweet? Not only Nigerians, they see them. People from international community, they see them. How bad is it? How did we get to this level where we see things come over bad like this? You can see the different tweets them where we see people they put up. In fact, one of the fighters them can't say make it twin stick small, even as he hold gun for hand they fight. People also give that one interpretation. Sharp, they even screenshot an image as it is treat the twin stick and respond accordingly. Now the thing is that a lot of people will say that even if the government is making a sincere effort to ensure that they nip this insecurity in the bud as much as possible, but because of the propaganda we don't go on over the years, it is very difficult to believe, say, indeed, there is a renewed sincerity of purpose in the fight against terrorism. How possible is that? We do not know. But make I quickly enter inside another matter very sharply. So somebody like Ojo Zokala, I think he was asked, including Babachar Lawal, about what do you think about the conversation. Here's a few responses they gave.
First of all, some more generous names like bandits who are doing all these killings. Is it not amazing that they are from one single tribe and religion? Is it not amazing? Is it not amazing that they have sufficient armaments at their disposal with which they go around, they kill and maim and loot and burn? Is it not amazing that somebody, it doesn't occur to you, Shehun, that somebody somewhere must be funding them?
You're saying that this is an orchestrated
because the resources at their disposal is so enormous that sometimes they are better, all the time they are better armed than the soldiers. All we don't have these days is maybe they are yet to acquire helicopters and bombers. But we do hear now these days that they now also use drones. Now, if it is just a primitive, uneducated, bush-living Fulani man that decides to do this, how does he get the knowledge?
You have painted a whole tribe, a Fulani tribe.
They don't call their own people to order. If one of you goes bad and you don't call him to order, you don't check him, if my son goes out to custody him and I don't call him to order, if they say my whole family is involved, you are right.
So are you saying Trump is right?
Trump?
All right. So when I don't hear from Babachar Lawal, there was such a heated argument there. But let's quickly take the reaction of Ojo Zokalo. A lot of people would say, oh, he's an ally to President Bola Tinubu, and of course a strong ally to Akpabio. And you would want to imagine, why would he tilt towards the United States in this conversation? Because a lot of people expect them to also deny, say, genocide. No, they just like other people, don't they deny? But make we hear what he get to talk.
President Donald Trump has made some remarks that have been making Nigerians unsettling in the last couple of days. Distinguished sir, as a former governor, former whip, you've been around and you are very close to former US presidents and even senators. What is your response to this, and what do you think should be the way forward for Nigeria as a country?
Well, what Donald Trump said, I will also disclose myself fully. I'm pro-America. So for anything I will say, know that it will be pro-America. Did what Donald Trump say, is he a lie? The answer is yes. It's not a lie because Donald Trump said the truth. Nigerians are being killed, whether they are Christians or Muslims. Are they not being killed? If they kill people in Plateau, they go to a church in Plateau, those they will kill are Christians. If they go to Benue, the majority of people they will kill in Benue are Christians. If they go to Zamfara, majority of people they kill in mosque there are Muslims. So these people are jihadists. These people just want to destroy Nigeria. So we should call a black name on them without any pity. They will be smoked out. Let me also tell you, the American president cannot talk anyhow. In my own little way, I have spoken to two former presidents, one Republican and one Democrat, and they all agree that they will help. I've spoken to about 6 senators, sitting senators in the U.S. Congress. So they've all said, we will help you people. But let me tell you, before President Trump says a word, mind you that the American intelligence community must have found out where these people are living. All these ones we are talking is rhetoric. And you can see Nigerian Air Force, possibly the information that have been given to them by the U.S. authorities and say they are there. And you see Nigerian Air Force in the last 3 days bombing the homes of these people. And that is what it should be. We should not pity anybody who is a terrorist. We should not. We should not. When I was governor, you remember I was governor, I formed the Bakassi. And the Bakassi was not about boyfriend and girlfriend. The Bakassi was about criminals. So if it's there, we'll smoke them away. And I can tell you, from everybody serving in this government, from President Tinubu to Vice President Shetima, everybody is committed to smoke these people away. But you people who are journalists and community people should also help the military and the people to tell us really who are the members of this sect that are doing this. No person it's also the same Americans that caused the problem. Because when you kill Gaddafi and kill Saddam Hussein, we have a problem. Because those people were maintaining their borders. Nobody was crossing there. It's after the kill of those people that light arms and big arms went wild all over the world. And we are suffering from it today. So America is the leader of the free world. And as leader of the free world, whatever that president says, he meant it. And we are working diplomatically to make sure that we put our house in order. It will be solved diplomatically because President, in fact, the report they are using.
That's what he had to say about this matter. But let me quickly go through some other issues concerning this before I begin to take your calls, because time take calls and I know say when I don't wait. Now, Carl also noted that he confirmed recent attempts to impeach Senate President Godswill Akpabio, adding that the plot was thwarted through the intervention of some lawmakers. Now, he was speaking with newsmen today, Tuesday, at National Assembly Complex in Abuja during this particular interview. Carlo also backed the United States, of course, in what happened. So, yeah, he said there were attempts, but we didn't allow that to happen, he said. We are one big family. And it's not going to happen. Now, speaking on our themes, he said if it's a lie, then the answer is that it's not a lie because he said the truth. Okay. So the point is that a lot of people didn't know that there was an attempt to impeach Senate President Godswill Akpabio. But here you go, he confirmed it. But then let's quickly move to other issues very, very quickly. As former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said that when he was president of Nigeria, said before US do anything for anywhere for Africa, not be just Nigeria, said they call him, ask him, say, Oga, how far? See what you want to do. So a lot of people don't react to this. They talk, say, excuse me. So are you trying to say that President Bola Tinubu they command the same respect with the command for United States? Because people don't use this one, the Russian, but I can't tell. And then you remember that footage I played sometime from Reverend Laddie, I hope that's his name. Yeah. So where he did say that there was indeed a sabotage by the Nigerian military during 2014 when Ibi say the American military being one help us rescue Chibok girls. Say Nigerian military go tell the Boko Haram people. Well, former Minister of Foreign Affairs Bolaji Akiyemi also don't accuse the Nigerian military of the same thing, of sabotaging an attempt by the American government to rescue Chibok girls after allegedly leaking the plan to Boko Haram. So that means it is setting. Now, confirming this incident now, how comfortable do you think the United States of America would be to partner and as security agencies in this fight against insecurity? Do you think that that's the reason why Trump had the mind to say that he will come and help and kill them? He will pick out the jihadists and kill them. Because I mean, if he trusted our military, they're very gallant. If he just talks, so we'll partner with the Nigerian military, we'll make sure we decimate them. But clearly he didn't say that. He spoke differently. That they would come and do it themselves. Why do you think he did that? Do you think it's because of this sabotage? Will BC happen? Okay. So other attacks still happen. As we say, a fresh widow whose husband was murdered by Fulani headsmen when they attacked the Dorowa community for Barakin Ladi local government area of Plateau State, has alleged that the attackers were giving support by soldiers. That is, people will attack her. They were supported by soldiers who were supposed to be protecting them. They were supported by soldiers. Now, the mother of three who narrated her bitter experience to an NGO equipping the persecuted said, when the bandits attacked their community, they and virtually surrounded the entire village, making it quite difficult and say hard. He said, on the day the Fulani attackers invaded our village in Doruwa Babuje, there were more than 100 in number. How did they take girls come like that in number? And our security agencies, they know. And then she recalled that they were all clad in black outfits and carried different sophisticated weapons while chanting Allahu Akbar. That's what they were chanting. We were surprised to see such a large number of Fulani headsmen coming down from the hills, all dressed in black and shouting jihad call. Now, when we heard gunshots all over the place, they started shooting and advancing from the hills and valleys. The whole of our neighborhood was surrounded and destroyed. Not one house was left standing, not one. Many people were trapped and could not escape. But by the grace of God, I was one of the very few people who managed to escape with my children. After escaping, I called my husband on his cell phone several times, but he rang and there was no reply. I didn't know at that time that he had killed my husband. I thought he had lost his phone while trying to escape because the whole village was deserted and following the invasion. Now, when I fled the town, I went to my husband's hometown in I think Mararaban Pushit in Mango local government area. My husband and I were living in my hometown where he worked. I was able to escape with the kids to Mararaban Pushit. Now, after I fled, I called his phone several times, but all my calls went unanswered. I didn't know they had killed my husband. The whole experience was gory. And then she insinuated that the Nigerian military was complicit in that attack. In another development, we hear that tension has engulfed the Federal Civil Service after 6 directors from the Federal Ministry of Defense were reportedly kidnapped by unidentified gunmen along the Kaba-Lokoja Expressway. They kidnapped 6 directors when they travel for official assignments to Abuja. This thing is not ending. Since when did Nigeria become this insecure? All right. And then I told you the drama in PDP as a BCD PDP governorship candidates for Anambra State. They are accused of anti-party activity of selling out empathy to Abga. It is very funny. Wow. That's it. And then we hear that Trump's threat has wreaked havoc in Nigeria's stock market. As Naira stock market, everything, olule. It's in just the phone for almost 10 consecutive days now. Market just get as it be, they smile at all. While the Nigerian stock market, it's bloodbath, the Naira also recorded losses across official and black markets generally. So people, they talk, so Oga Trump, this one way they do us like this, good at all. And then, let's see what I haven't covered that I'll cover before we go back to Oga Wike's situation. Yes, let's see. All right, so yeah, somebody talks, say Nigeria is supposed to be very, very lucky to get President Bola Tinubu as president because they easy to get man really like that. We understand their plight well to that level as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So Nigerians are supposed to be grateful to our president. Say, in fact, he even agreed to be our president and that he is our president. Oh dear, I was trying to get that footage, but I think I already lost it. Okay, so going back to that conversation with Nyesom Wike.
Donald Trump has
That's not it. Yeah, so going back to that conversation with Nyesom Wike very quickly, because I needed to play the complete footage, but because of time, I didn't want to keep our guests waiting. I had to quickly stop halfway. So going back to that conversation, Nyesom Wike don't vow say he no go ever bow to intimidation. So it be like say people won't intimidate them with waiting they happen. He talk say go let military personnel or anybody, no matter who it be, even if you be former chief of naval staff, to intimidate them. Say now work when they do, and he must do them to the end. He say you are aware that I can go on and on and on, but I had already told you that this land were about 30 to 31 hectares of land where then talk say then collect or we can revoke from people's hand. And some of the people that we see get this land originally now actually military officers, top military generals. So he said they give the land to Abuja. He revoked the land and he, give them out to other people. People that accuse him say he give the land to his cronies, while him talk say na he work na he do. I'm trying to get that letter that is circulated about the land issue or land dispute, as it were, because a letter where BC circulates when before the land issue, it was shown that it was revealed rather that that part of the land supposed actually be that land actually supposed to be a park place where BC then designates for a park, but unfortunately, they had assigned it part of the land to some people, and then Ogawi can now reassign them to his people according to the statement. And I wait to make the military officers vex, and position their men there to say, make on amount there, first of all, if anybody won't come do anything, make on let us know. And you saw that verbal altercation between him and the military officer we BC did. And now here's some of those letters we BC they make public. Let me quickly go play you the remaining part of that footage while I begin to take your phone calls. Phone lines are open. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly call the WhatsApp number 0817-029-4077, 0817-029-4077, or you follow the link waiting for inside the pinned post. The link will bring you straight into the studio for you to take part for the conversation. I know someone enough you wait to join the conversation. Sorry, I kept you waiting a bit before bringing you on to the conversation. I just needed to be sure that I at least go halfway in exhausting the stories that I have.
This is not professional. It's not professional. Please, you can't be pressing the minister with this thing. It's okay. We have seen it's okay. From demolition is not part. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Order matters. I'm an offside. Take to orders. So what? You had a who? Than me. So I'm an offside. Take to orders. To order that. You Mr. General. Okay. You can't say no. That means you can never develop this property. I will not allow it. No problem, sir. I'm only acting on my orders. If you want to kill everybody, kill everybody. We will not kill you. You cannot. We will not. We will not kill anybody, sir. You put yourself in trouble. We will not. My friend, you see, what is that? You cannot shut me up. You cannot shut me up. You are my junior. You cannot even talk when I'm talking. Because I have to reach you. You're only that you wait. I'll be talking and policemen will be talking. Hey, you are taking with us. We don't have any. I'm not to carry security to intimidate. Because you're an officer. Nobody does that. We did not carry anybody. The man took this, I will not allow because he was chief of naval staff, and then you to carry land. Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop
sir,
that?
You get the
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, you're not put
sir, I will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you keep quiet?
You
You're
can't
a
shut me
big
up, sir.
fool.
I'm not a
You're a big fool.
I'm not a fool,
You think you
sir.
can shoot anybody like that?
Sir, I'm not
You're
a fool.
Who are you?
I am not a fool, sir.
As at the time I
Don't call me a
graduated,
fool.
you were in primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
Take for which
You can't
order?
call me a fool.
And this, you will see whether you love it here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Go
I'm
and develop here.
an
Go and
officer.
develop
I'm not a fool, sir. I'm an officer.
You will have killed everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Go and develop. Go and develop here. Let me see you.
Regular officer, you won't come and complain.
We are going to get out.
Go. I'm not even seeing what is recording. Hello, sir.
Director Press.
You are aware that the land development and the economic control has been coordinated to see where the illegal development going on and land grabbing. And when this was brought to my attention, I did instruct them to make sure that nothing takes place in as much as they do not have any legal paper in terms of regional approval or even the acquisition of the land. And when they came here, I was informed that the soldiers of the military had to chase them away. And I thought probably they will be acting illegally. And so today, when I was in the office, while they came to implement the directive that was given to them by myself, I was called that the military have taken over the place. And I have to come by myself to see things for myself. It's been unfortunate. And you heard what the officer said he was sent by the former chief of naval staff. And I don't understand how somebody who attained that position, I see that he has a problem, cannot approach my office to say, look, this is what is going on, this is what is going on. Or simply because he's a military man, he could use that to intimidate Nigerians. I'm not one of those kind of persons that will succumb to blackmail.
Okay, so well, Nigerians are so funny. I'm sorry, Nigerians don't talk. Say, hey, Oga Wike, now you they intimidate. Not call us puto. Nothing consign us, consign land for Abuja. We the hungry face. We never chop food finish. They will come begin drag land for Abuja. So no call us with. Nigerians phone lines are open. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions to the conversation. 0817-0294077, the number to call, or you follow the link ready by the pin post, and the link will bring you straight into the studio to participate for the conversation. T.Y. Danjuma, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Precious. How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir. You don't see your guy?
Well, first of all, you don't see, I don't add pastor to your name.
For where, Adam?
You don't see the comment, this thing, I don't put Pastor Precious.
How? Which one? Who ordained me?
No,
no, Odumeje go fit ordain make I take ordination, no. The ordination no come from Odumeje.
God forbid bad thing. Odumeje na pastor.
When God they forbid.
No, not be that kind of pastor. Now they wish for you.
You're welcome to T.Y. Danjuma.
How are you?
Welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hanging in with all the sad stories we hear, and missing my brother from Plateau State talk, confirming all what we know already. It's just very sad to see our government living in denial of all the things we see they happen, and to continuously they tell us they do public media round across media houses with strength, with energy, at the expense of the pain of your people. Well, not vex.
Not the only for Nigeria. They are lobbying here seriously. They are lobbying here. They are spending money, trying. I don't know, where a human being would be conscienceless. If you have experienced genocide, you know it. You see it, you know it, and you recognize it.
You saw the video from Mike Arnold where he exposed the Nigerian government. He even talked about Sheikh Gumi and all that, saying a former general and I say Sheikh Gumi, including Sultan of Sokoto. And I saw that Mike Arnold's video.
Yes, you see, yesterday I was just thinking, there are so many leaders in the north. Have you heard El Kanemi or Bruno? Uttering, and he's a Muslim. Have you heard Gwangwam Jos? Have you heard, we have heard from the Toti. Have you heard from the Atai Gala? Have you heard from Ochidoma? And so on and so forth. You see, I think that we should really feel sorry when we see truth and we're running away from it. At this stage, you shouldn't be debating whether there's genocide or there's no genocide. The facts are there, it's clear. The definition is clear what it is. The facts are there. And to reduce this whole thing to Muslims are being killed or Muslims are not being killed, they are killed more than the Christians and so on, is a shame. It's a shame. When I saw Daniel Bola grandstanding, if he goes to the place where he comes from in Southern Bruno, he'll be stoned. He'll be stoned. He can't get there. It's so shame. You can even see Charles that usually is very, very calm. You can see Charles was agitated. Charles was like very angry with the way that he was handling this. Everybody knows. Now he says it's IPOB that is causing the problem. The Minister for Information and National Orientation says these people abroad that are lobbying. Look at what your guest said. There's no lobby group. They are the ones who are affected, who this thing didn't start now. They are the ones that have gone to make their case, since the Nigerian government cannot help them, since the military cannot help them. They have a right to cry to whoever they believe and they think will help them. And I just feel so ashamed of this country.
I think bringing the IPOB into this matter is just a question of getting the soft targets. I think this administration particularly don't constantly see the Igbo people as maybe an endangered species and a soft target for them to throw any accusation on. You never notice, say, this administration, they had them to accuse an Hausa or Fulani person of any crime. It is very difficult for them. It's just like when they want to react, when Daniel Bola wants to react, is it Daniel Bola? Let's not even go Daniel Bola because he was an Atiku's boy. So we'll talk about waiting be your brother named Oga person with the put up for president. Yeah. So when he wants to talk, it's very easy for him to attack. You see the big God, it's trying to he's respond about P2B. But he says that if it is Atiku Abubakar, he doesn't give that same energy.
No, Atiku is not their problem. You see what they did in Anambra. Their target in this election, their target was do anything that you can, and they did all the figures, did everything with them, and they're happy. Can you imagine? They're not even happy, say they lose, say sad, say they lose the election, even though the person where they put there is a nobody. But they are happy, they are rejoicing that yes, we have defeated Obi in the world. Of course, people know. Everybody knows what Soludo can be fraternizing with them. Good luck to him. It does not diminish the stature of Obi. It doesn't. They're just making mockery of themselves. But all these things all these shenanigan, machinations where they carry out, it's because they want to demystify this man. They want to bring him down because that is the threat. You stole the man's election. You have done everything to him, threatening his child, threatening his wife, threatening the man himself, attacked his business, attacked his personality, attacked everything that you can, took the election from him, lied against him, cooked up all kinds of things. It's not sticking. And the man just remained quiet. It's not sticking. And it will never stick. Why? So you ask yourself, this man comes out according to you. So why are you attacking him? Why are you not attacking the person who comes second? You don't say anything about Kwankwaso, who is opposition. You hardly say anything about Atiku, who is in opposition, who you say came second. He's the man who you say came a distant third. That's the one that you are every day, foul mess, you say no be. Knife cut the neck of chicken. Instead of chicken, where you go quarrel with knife, where cut the neck, they quarrel with the ground. That's been the pattern. Obi. And Igbos. Because you see that Igbos know they don't retaliate. They say all the kinds of things against Igbos. Igbos, they will just keep quiet. They don't have time for it. If they're facing their business and all that, they don't have time for this kind of nonsense. If you feel that they are not needed, they're useless, like the lady said, they're good for nothing. Let them go. Why did you fight them?
Say they're
Why?
leeches. Say them be leech. They've been leeching on Nigeria.
Yes. Why did you fight them? Why? Let them go. If they're nothing to you, you let them go. But they won't. Listen, it's just because the Igbos are not organized. If the Igbos organize themselves, this thing whether they do on Monday for East, if you do it nationally, just say 2 days in a week, just to pity the poor. You close down all the shops in Nigeria, every Igbo man within it, close down the shops, if possible, in the whole of West Africa. Close down shop, nobody will sell anything. They will come begging them. The economy of Lagos, for instance, will fall. They see Christmas period and all those where they go everywhere, nothing. You go see them, they beg. You go see them, they beg. These things where they do, the thing that Igbo people they do, they're doing themselves because it will come to a head eventually. It will come to a head. So when you look at them, you look at Abike, you look at Bayo Nanoga, these are people that we used to respect. But breeze don't blow now. You don't see the anus of the chicken. Very, very ugly.
You see here.
It's ugly.
Ew.
So we know them. We now know them. Many of them. But also we have to recognize that there are some of them, some others who don't stand out, who don't want to be bought, who don't want to patronize this nonsense things where they do.
I'm going to mention that because you have the likes of Dele Farotimi, you have
yes,
you have a lot of them. So let's
yes,
not
across, but even in the north,
why I
that
tell
they have been bribing.
That trait is not tribal or religious. It is, you can find different characters in almost all the religion, in almost all the tribes. So make no make a particular thing really unique to a particular set of people.
Yes. So for those people, I doff my hat. We stand for truth. They don't threaten them, intimidate them, lobby them, give them money. They say, no, we stand for the truth. Because the truth benefits everybody. It may be hurting to some, but eventually the truth shows the way. The truth shines the light. Because if we stand on truth, our country for don't go better than we are. All this lying, we would lie to ourselves. It's unfortunate. But you see, all these people where they see, they will pay because it's just for a time. All these things will pass away. But to come to your brother, Umike, in Cop don't fool. You see the disgrace. In Cop don't fool. In Cop don't fool.
You see the Cop.
The thing where not be wine full in cup. I know if you tell you waiting full the cup. Not be wine, not be vodka.
That guy go full losing trouble. He tell and say he put himself for very serious trouble.
What did he go do? The fear in life.
He go call for his sack now.
So what?
Sack now, made them dismiss him from service.
Is that the end of life? If he called for the boy's sack because the boy is time to challenge him, he's serving the boy. He's a servant. He's a public servant. You challenge somebody who is take in life, they go fight for the nation. You can't do that here. Today is Veterans Day. You cannot do that in this place. You can't do it. The honor where would they give people who don't serve and people who are serving, the military, where they lay down their lives when we are sleeping. You can't do that. This thing when you do is supposed to make the second. And I'm hoping that there will be people, in Nigeria where their head correct will go say, Wike must be sad. You can't do this thing to a serving officer. He receives instruction not from Wike. He receives instruction from his boss. Wike is stupid to have challenged that guy. What he would have done is to call his oga and say, listen, this is the situation. But you think this impunity, you can do it everywhere. It cannot happen. If they lucky, say they no fire and gun. You'd be very lucky. You don't talk to the army like that. You don't. Because all that they know is fire. He did lucky. Say there's no casualty happen. They call him, say he's a fool, make it shut up. Who is he to tell the boy make it shut up?
Ask you one question, because this one when you talk like this, it don't sound like Sheikh Husani. Now, wait to make Sheikh Husani talk this in when he talk. He say, in fact, where can I even find that tweet? We see tweets. He say, you are aware that the land department, or what was that tweet? I don't understand. Well, bottom line say, say Wike they do a lot of good work for inside FCT, but say I made the advice Wike. Say next time he shouldn't be encouraged. Those are his words. He shouldn't be encouraged to do stunts with soldiers. That is making no go do stunts with soldiers again. Yeah. What see they try talk with that?
Yeah, he's in danger in life. You don't know. It's nothing. If you remove all those policemen with there, it's nothing. What in the police people will do for him? So they were there when the young man was talking to him. They tell her he's don't be in son. He can be waiting. You were so when in day school. When in day school, me a senior. When I finished university, he probably was in secondary school or primary school. I can't be telling somebody like that. What's the meaning of that? What is he trying to say? Waiting being great, waiting is called. English, if you know if you speak, to call integrity. Now so that the speller is a fool. He's a fool. And then listen to English, you know if you speak good grammar.
You cannot be speaking about an honorable minister of the Federal Republic.
Listen, let me tell you, he's a public servant. For him to debase that office is very offensive. For him to talk to a military officer the way when he do, that's why they don't have value for them. They are dying. They can't go and visit them. They can't pay them, give them allowance. They can't dismiss those who are cheating them. Their welfare is nothing. Can you imagine that kind of a thing? You can't talk to a military officer like that.
Oh yeah, see why? Thank you. Make they go house here. Thank you.
The thing they vex me. He did very lucky. But you see, this thing when you do, you know, get skipper. I'm telling you.
Sorry.
He won't. He will pay for it.
Sorry, sir.
Thank you, Joe. Good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you so much. Don't worry. Take one see your cool down. Take one see your calm your mind. I beg. Take see on my bill. Let me go back to my phone lines. Phone lines are still open, people. 08170294077. That's the number to call. 08170294077. Mr. Mop, are you there?
Oh, Precious. Oh, hold on. Hey, how are you?
Lovely wedding pictures, I see. Well done.
Oh, I don't know, my wife. She just put it there, you know. I don't know what she.
I like how she mark her territory. As she sabi go social media, make them know.
Whatever, Precious.
Yeah. What do you that when that talk again, said? Hey, you did one language, what Gen Z language she use that she did talk. I don't forget them.
Who's that? Regina Dane?
Yes, I was going to try to be Gen Z a bit now, but you see, my old age don't feel me. I don't feel
even. You know that topic. What's going on with Regina? You know, which I don't pay attention a lot anyway. It's like I call it Nigeria SP5. You know, if you have to go that, you know, the SP5. Yes. Yeah, that's what Native Walker is. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Yes. But anyway, you look good, fresher. But let's begin about this topic because we have flogged this topic. I'm going to start from the narrative, the current narrative going on in Nigeria. And let me start with that lady, Aisha, whatever they call her. I mean, I was so upset about it. I think what is actually happening, you know, you probably have some people in the north that push her to come on national TV because that video has been going viral, you know. They're trying to change the narrative. Now you're blaming the Igbo man for what's actually happening in Nigeria. Try to say the South or whatever. What is utter nonsense? Because your land is good and something like that. The Igbo doesn't have. We are very good entrepreneur with our intellect. Even in Nigeria, it's talking about natural resources.
You know, he said on the imports. He said on the importation.
Yeah, he said we'll be lynched or whatever she said. You know, the Southeast has about 200, particularly Imo, about 200 trillion cubic proven gas reserve. So in terms of natural resources, we have natural resources. We have some oil. You know, it's a problem. I was so annoyed. I was lost of speech. That lady making that kind of comment. Sorry, just trying to change the narrative of what we are going on. what the terrorists are causing to this country, and you can't mention terrorism without mentioning the Boko Haram. Let's call it what it is. The group of, let me make it very clear. The terrorist group is not a representative of the Muslim in Nigeria generally. But the terrorist group come out of that Muslim. So there's no way you're going to call them terrorist jihad without calling them Muslim. They emancipated from the terrorist group. From the Muslim. So they are intermingled in that regard. But I'm not blaming the whole Muslim. They are the one perpetuating the whole trouble. There's no way you can sugarcoat it. You can even use some of the example of their elite. Precious, you know about that. We know we'll talk about it on this platform. What Gumi said, he said, the bandits are guarding our forests, for for peace to reign. We shouldn't castigate them. You even have what's his name? Pantami. I remember what he said a long time ago. He said the terrorists and Muslim are brothers. That's what Pantami said. Even Satano Sokoto, the one that was invited to Tinubu to Asurok recently. He said when you fight, when you fight the Almighty Allah, when you are fighting the Boko Haram, in other words, if you're fighting the Almighty Allah, you are fighting the Boko Haram. Imagine all those kind of insidious statements they are making. That means you are supporting them. You're a benefactor of the terrorists. What are we talking about? And you here, getting mad because Trump is coming. Trump is coming, say, I'm going to target. Trump never said, I'm going to invade. I'm not a Trump fan. He never said, I'm going to invade Nigeria. He said, I'm coming to target, the terrorists and remove them. If he claim that if he claim that the Muslim are key more than the Christian, okay, let Trump come. You're supposed to be happy, and let him come and target the Muslim. Target the terrorists and remove them from there. And some of them claiming that right now, if you let Trump come, then you are creating a division between the Christians and Muslims. How? If you target the terrorists and remove them, how's that creating a division between the Christians and Muslims? In other words, you support what the terrorists was doing to begin with. If that's going to create a division between the Christian and Muslim, I don't see where that analogy run with the present situation where we are. The people in Benue Plateau, Danjuma, what's the former governor of Benue Plateau State? What's the name of that man?
Jonah Jangs, which of them?
Really? No, the recent one, the one we aligned with Wike, the one Autumn, okay. Right? Well, yeah, they have said it, but they didn't explicitly said. They didn't explicitly said it was Christian Muslim because they're in office. They are trying to be politically correct. They call it ethnic cleansing. But we know what will happen, because they were in office. Like I said, they were trying to be political correct. They has been going on for a long, long time, and nothing has happened. Way back 15 years ago. The present government we have right now, Tinubu is not going to do anything. I'm not saying he's perpetuating the whole thing. We know what the epicenter of that particular time being when it really amplified to what we have right now was Buhari. Like I always said, Buhari, was a silent genocider. We know what happened. That was when the terrorists really, went wide. And this is where we are right now. So anybody that's going to come and sugarcoat whatever happened, in my own opinion, there's a genocide going on. We know the definition of genocide is very broad. It can be Christians, it can be ethnic or whatever, otherwise, whatever is happening. But there's a targeted Christians in that genocide. When they go to Benue area, Plateau area, or Nasarawa, where they have more Christians, even Southern Kaduna, and kill the Muslim. Of course, we know the split between when this guy died, who is the guy in charge of Boko Haram when he died, Mohammed Yusuf, and there's a splinter, in between the group. The one the ISWAP, said they want to target Christians, particular, but the other one said no, let's just kill everybody. So they have this ideology, try to exterminate people who don't believe what they believe. So it is what it is. Hopefully, even I thought Trump didn't come. Hopefully, we let the country, Tinubu start doing the right thing, but I doubt it because they don't have the political way to do it. It's all about the election, next year. That's the way I see it. So let me wrap up my statement very fast. Let me talk about Wike. This is the problem I have with Nigeria. How would you talk to somebody representing the country, a military man, who put their life on the line every day. You know, you are talking to him like that. When that man is taking an order, doing what he was authorized to do. This gets to show you about where we are in Nigeria, you know, impunity and power without accountability. That's the problem we have. I'm in a public service, you know, there's no trust, you know, in the institution. So we have a problem. I've been saying something about wicked people say he's working. Okay, working what? All those pedestrian things that he is doing in Abuja, like building road or bridge, you know, so that's what he's supposed to do. There's nothing extraordinary about wicked. Okay? Nigeria has a problem, okay? Precious. I don't know where we go from now, from here. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say.
We'll be
All right,
fine. Yeah. Thank you so
all
much.
right, thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Good night and God bless you. All right, I've got the Barrys in the house. Uga, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening and welcome.
Precious, good
Sir?
evening.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
I was going back and forth with the YouTube and live because I missed the start. By the time I checked my phone, I was caught up at work.
Sorry.
You see, I was listening and I saw where you asked the lawyer, the guest, a question about where are they now and about the intervention of the U.S. government. And I felt I felt bad that I wish we would take this as our own problem and not just for the Middle East, because I am not from the Middle East and I cry every day,
Yeah.
knowing what Nigeria was and what it is now. I have friends from Benue, Plateau, and I've traveled all those places. And a few of my friends from Benue, they will call me and ask for some things, and I will tell them, guy, I expect you guys to what are the solutions to solving, to finding out a way to tackle this whole nonsense. And my prayer was, I wish these whole pastors and men of God in high places would say, you know what? These people don't respect nothing but violence. I wish they would say, hey, these big churches, we have weapons, we have guns. Let's contribute money to buy guns for these villages and see what will happen. We can't keep laying our back on the ground and rolling on the ground and begging and looking for who is going to help us. And even at that point now, the way people are responding, it seems we are taking it for granted. It seems that nobody cares. By the time this week goes by, it looks like it's gonna be, America said they want to come help us. What's going on? This is serious. So let me just tell you this. I blocked two friends, very close friends of mine, last week. One of them from Kwara, the other one from Kogi. They were both Muslims. They are here in America. They are my very close, like we go out together. Come to find out, when this whole thing is happening and President Trump gave this announcement, do you know that the people that are so enlightened, they went to school in ABU, they tell me all the things that were going on way back then and how things are going and how they enjoyed Nigeria. Do you know it seems I've just almost confirmed that anyone that claim to be a Muslim, they have soft spot for this whole terrorist people. As I speak to you now, I won't say heartbroken because I think I'm grown enough not to be heartbroken. I know how these things go. I'm so disappointed that, guys, so you guys don't see that we want Nigeria to be a better place. It has nothing to do with Muslims or Christian. It's Nigeria, period. Precious, I went to school in BMGS Bori and I had classmates from north, south, west, everywhere. Awusa boy, Ibrahim, Idrisu. I have Yoruba. I have it everywhere.
Very popular then, yes.
I enjoyed as we have platform. Most of them are not there. I enjoyed this whole thing about different people from different areas and how I was so exposed to these people. Even if the school was right in my village, but I lived in the boarding house and I saw what was going on, how Nigeria was. And all of a sudden now we're taking everything for granted. The question is, with these northern elders, what Precious, this is serious. So now we not say Oh, so now these people, they kill Nigeria. There is a more serious agenda behind all this stuff. And we know this thing, but with the act like say, oh, now Christian, this thing matter. Now, lie, yo, I follow and I listen and I watch some documentaries, which some of them like the Zeitgeist, the End Game, the Ring of Power. When you watch those documentaries, you understand what's going on. These people not go give up. These people, these Fulani small people, no, look at them. They don't give up. So we don't have to give up. My prayer and my hope is I never even pray against them. As a matter of fact, Precious, very soon we have a very big mass protest that we are putting together to go to DC in a couple of weeks to come, just to ensure that we're not going to let our foot off the pedal. Because if we relax, these people come back, it go be like, say, they go just come with fire. They was there killing and just moving. These people are terrible. They are not human. I'm sorry to say that. They don't think the way we think. And they are, at least they are just, this is all they want. Why is it that these our northern people, will be Muslim, have refused to develop their place? Unlike, look at the Middle East, the same people practicing the same Muslim. What is going on with our own Muslim practitioners? What thing that happened to them? What is going on? And I say these are the texts everybody, even when I go church now, I'll go wait for when church don't close. I ask pastor, sir, what is the plan of the church people? Because I don't want to let this people go. Hello?
Go ahead, please. I had a call and I'm trying to let the person, put the person on hold.
Oh, okay, thank you. So I asked the pastor, what will be the plan of the church? Because we need to take advantage of this whole thing. Whether US go come or there's nothing like I know. Not the US will come help us. Now we just have to have them behind us and push forward these guys. This is not a joke. My house they far, my village they far, my place they peaceful. We know how to take care of our own. You see that time where these people come there, carry their cow, enter bush. We go find the CP for Port Harcourt there. So making contact. Inside they're saying there somewhere. You dey hear about them again today. We will not get time for that matter. We don't see that. Go ask your Contimo. What thing happened? We know that this one will not send. May they can't do that nonsense again. What thing be this? Why this middle bed not fit come together and say this is time? I'm sorry to say middle bed, but Nigeria needs to wake up for these people. These people, the thing don't tire me. Anyways, my Yoga Wike, they ain't get local. Wike get locked, say that naval officer and a very calm guy. For your tell us, say Wike, you be employee, yo. Now president employ you. You are not an elected official. They employ you to come do work for Abuja. All of a sudden, you just get one kind of wing where it don't start now. You don't see them now. You don't they step on the toes where you're not supposed to step on. But in own will soon come down. Time day.
He don't make now. Somebody don't come talk saying they behave like the whole of South people. See them. All of us don't collect stray bullets like this.
I'm not collecting bullet too. That guy no be Wike no dey talk. I don't know why people know they fit challenge Wike self. Wike doesn't even speak like someone that is educated. Wike, he doesn't even speak like a person who go school.
You know, see, he said this in the my guy, what's it Kīllïñgs? He said, I beg precious no vex. So Wike is a typical is typical people from South, arrogant and confused and compromised and conflict. Chat.
I go for respond to that man. Waiting me that which guy arrogant. Everybody they listen. Now I query people now. Now I query people once they created Bayelsa. Bayelsa can't come up for River State. The query people can't come up for farm where they do their bush bar and they do this. Now in Wike they can't get the waiting. I make her talk. I make her tell their story. Make you not stop that nonsense. So.
No, but I make a tell you so collect stray bullets. He said the bullet no touch you, but no, none of us are collect stray bullet like this now.
since Ikwere people become governor for River State, now we call CGRA don't spot to GRA don't turn to something else.
From Amechi to Wike, now since that time, that River State become something else.
Now if you not delist this all this thing now, all of them. I mean, this thing.
They pay me for my chest. Since all of us for South resist stray bullet now because of Wike. Oh, I can't they go, my brother, no vex.
All right, thank you. We'll talk later. Have a good one.
console myself. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, Precious. Good evening.
Yes.
I just want to add something. I just want to appreciate the last guy that called. I will say God bless him, because in one platform we are discussing, and I brought this thing exactly what he just said. This thing is no more like people they are talking about like divide the country. That's the only solution. But I said no. For now, I'm not seeing this thing is like dividing the country now, because if we are dividing the country, we from the southeast, we already know, we are already aware who our enemies are. Through the marginalization and all those stuff. And the South people, as they used to call, I don't know where the South came in, because just say people from the South, some of us are aware who our enemies are. But those people living, those Christians and people that look like us and that behave like us, living in Kaduna, Gombe, Boronu, all those people they are killing now, that Benue, they are just living in the midst of the tiger. So dividing the country is not the solution now. And even America cannot do it alone. We need to, because if you say divide the country, then we are being selfish. Then we are now letting these people in danger. So now we need to push. If Trump is coming in, then they need to arm those people that are in the South. So we can also help these people. It's the only way we can arm us, they can arm everybody, and we can solve this problem, because we know our enemies. Understand? So that now
everybody carry on like this.
Do it. He can only do it. Trump can only do it one time way. They can only do it one time and go away. But these people, they continue, because they breed enough men. They had money. They have like ammunition. They have a lot.
Don't worry yourself. Don't worry yourself. Don't worry yourself. If Trump won't cut their source off, if Trump won't cut their
was talking to that guy. Thank God that guy respected him and respected himself. He's supposed to go and apologize to that guy. Because that guy was a pure gentleman. For him to listen to Wike and he sorted him like that way, it's not good. That's all I want to contribute this thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I was going to say that if Trump want to make sure, he cuts their source of money flow, that's the first thing you do. You cut within the fuel them. If you cut the source of the money flow and cripple that source, not just cutting it, cripple the source where they fund them, where they want from resurrect. Ujari. Thank you, Nigerians. I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who's been part of the show. It's been a pleasant evening with you guys as always. Make I just bar break here. 2 hours plus, don't reach here. Make a bar break here. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you again tomorrow evening, God willing, with another guest, hopefully. But at the meantime, don't forget to protect your mental health, because wahala not the finish. Good night and God bless you.